Hi, everyone. My name is Amy Weber-DeRaad, and I am an Oola Ambassador. It's my privilege to welcome you to the Stomp Out Stress Virtual Summit, Better Health for the Entrepreneur. Now, whether you're the entrepreneur of your own home, a local business in your community, or one who has global aspirations, stay with me because there's something about Oola that can benefit each of you. I hope that you are alive, alert, awake, and enthusiastic. And if you're not at the end of our time together today, I sure hope that changes for you. I want to tell you a little bit about Oola, and then we'll discuss some of the things about it that would apply to an entrepreneur seeking better health and wellness for themselves. First of all, Oola, I'm going to show you here, OOLA. And then, of course, live Oola is my hashtag. It's my battle cry, if you will. Oola originally was short for ooh la la. It's that certain something something that causes people to stand up and take notice. It is a way of living life in a state of gratitude that affects all of you. So your physical, your spiritual, your emotional, your mental, all of your health. So at this time of year, when many people focus solely on the physical component, which is a great place to start, Oola encourages you to look at yourself as a whole person and to give some focus to each of those areas. With Oola, the whole purpose behind this movement, which is now global, is to remind you to live a life of balance, growth, and purpose. And it's one that you create. It's simply saying yes to a decision day after day and watching those yeses become steps towards milestones, towards goals, towards dream achievement. And that's done in 7 key areas. We'll talk about those in just a moment. One of the reasons I'm an Oola ambassador is because I have a desire to help others and be part of a greater mission. The synergy that this movement entails really speaks to me and resonates deep within. There is a global movement for Oola to reach 1 billion people in 7 years. So essentially, almost 1 in 7 people on the planet will know what Oola means when it comes to living a life that's fulfilled and balanced and one of gratitude. We're about a year and a half into this movement, and we've reached over 1 million people in 43 countries, I think, last count. So thanks for joining that growing number today. All right, so let's talk about 3 things today. Number 1, you are designed for greatness and a purpose. There is a bigger calling on each of our lives, and we often can feel it deep within. Some of us are aware of it. Some of us are aware it exists, but we try to kind of stifle it down and keep it shut. And some of us are not aware at all that it exists, and we love to have that awakened so we can do something different with our lives. And so Oola helps us remember that there's something more to us. And again, when we strive to do this life of gratitude together, we can help realize that internal purpose. And for those of you who are very big on community and wanting to have a positive effect and impact in the areas where you live and work, again, whether you're home, local business, or globally, this is something I think that resonates with a lot of us. In Oola, and I have lots of notes, so pardon if I look away from the screen for just a moment. I want to make sure I capture all this for you. In Oola, there are 7 key areas of health and wellness. Now, we call them the 7 Fs because it's fun to say that and it catches people's attention, right? Because using an F word growing up, we were told was a bad thing. Oola's changing that a little bit. And here's the list: finance, family, faith, friends, field, meaning your career, fitness, and fun. These are 7 areas that if you strive to create balance and purpose in each of them, your life will take on a greater meaning and you're going to live that life of gratitude in a greater capacity. I'll describe each of those in just a few minutes. The third part of Oola that I want to talk about tonight is the Oola framework. Now, many of us have heard that if you write down a goal and track a number, you have a greater likelihood of it coming true. Absolutely true with Oola. If you connect yourself to this framework and you choose to model this in a way that helps you toward goal achievement, then you are going to see some amazing things happen in your life. Now, there are other ways to track and achieve goals. Oola is one of them, and I have the privilege of sharing that with you today. So that will be our focus as we continue our time together. All right, let's talk a little bit about those 7 Fs. So we are designed for greatness and a purpose, and we want to find some balance and create some harmony and see some growth really live out a purpose in 7 key areas. Let's dive a little deeper into each of those. So, the first one that I want to dive a little deeper into at this time of the year is fitness. Not everybody necessarily wants to acknowledge that, but fitness really means that you are healthy, you're disciplined, and you are strong. And it is a great place to start. If you had to pick any of the 7 Fs, your physical health drives so much of the health in the rest of your life. It's a great place to begin. The next F that we want to talk about is finances. You are financially free and you are living abundantly. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are a millionaire. It doesn't mean that you're not. It means that wherever you're at with your financial gifts, you are balancing them wisely and you are choosing to use money as a tool to help you to your next destination. So it is a means, not an end goal. The next is family. Family means that you're unconditionally loving, you're patient, and you're respectful. Now, for some of us, our families of origin maybe are not the families that we see ourselves building uh, this persona with. We may have to choose the family on our own to help us feel that we can be accepted and we can live out those pieces. Family is who you make it. Field. Think of your passions. You're pursuing your purpose in life. This is more than a job. A job can sometimes take on the moniker, if you will, or the feeling that it is drudgery. It is something that you have to do, not something that you want to do that ignites your passions, that lights you up from within inside and causes such a glow that attracts other people to you. That's when you know you're really living out your field and the 7 Fs. Next is faith. You're grateful, humble, and fully connected. One of the pieces I really like about Oola is it brings in this component of your life. It doesn't um, force you to set that part aside because the spiritual part of who we are is significant as well. And however you practice that faith um, outlet is what will help you grow in this area of the F of Oola. And let's not forget friends. Now, friends, you are blessed with healthy, empowering relationships. This means think about the people you spend the most time with. They're the ones most likely to cultivate a spirit around you or a feeling around you about how you approach and view the world. Sometimes we have to audit that circle and we realize we need to make it a little bit smaller so we can fine tune our focus. And sometimes we need to broaden it so we can bring in other viewpoints. In either case, people that you spend the most time with are going to shape a lot of who you are, what you do, and how you live your life. So that friend part of Oola is very important. And finally, there's fun. You must bring this into every part of your life. The F of Oola for fun is there for a purpose. You are pursuing the joys in life. Now, that may not mean that you are doing everything fun every moment of every day. However, you are planning it in so you can give your body and your mind and your spirit a connection and a little bit of a break from some of the areas of life that might be a little more stressful. Now, the question is, how do I do this, Amy? How do I pull these things together? Well, there's something called um, a life balance assessment. And what it does is ask you questions related to the 7 Fs of Oola, and you fill them out. And if you think of the 7 Fs of Oola as kind of a wheel, you're going to have a score from 0 to 10. So 0's at the center, 10's out here. 0 means, I'm not doing so well in this area. 10 means I'm living my best life. So as you're filling out this wheel and you're looking at your results, you may have some things that are less than a 10. I know I sure do. That's how I'm setting some of my goals for the year so I can increase those numbers. I can even out that wheel and make it run a little more smoothly in all the 7 Fs of my life. So what we do in Oola is we take each of the 7 Fs and we fill out a dream for that area. We're encouraged to dream, not simply set a task for something to do, but set a dream that's big. You know, they often say that if the dream doesn't scare you or it doesn't make your stomach turn or you don't have a healthy level of disgust in some areas, it's probably not big enough. In Oola, it's absolutely true. Now, Some of them may scare you or disgust you a little more than others. The general idea, of course, is it's something that's going to cause you to step out of yourself and live that life of balance, purpose, and growth. Okay. So we've set a dream for each of the 7 Fs. And then within each of those dreams, one for each of the Fs in Oola, we set 3 goals that we're going to achieve to help us move toward that dream. Sometimes that dream is going to take longer than a year or 2 years or 3 years to meet. So you're really setting yourself up for some future vision casting in some of those areas. And some may take much less time. So there's always some balance. You have some short term wins to help you stay the course for the longer term ones. With that in mind, when you're all done, in each of those 7 Fs, you'll have 7 dreams, and collectively, you'll have 21 goals. Now, that's a pretty impressive list. And I don't know about you. I will say that sometimes seeing 21 goals in front of me can be a little daunting. So, what we do is we look at all 21 of them and we say, let's pick the top 7. Now, the top 7 don't have to be all in one area. You don't have to have one from every one of the Fs. You pick the ones that are most meaningful and impactful for you and will help move your life forward for that balance, growth, and purpose. After you pick those 7, there's usually one that resonates. It's either one of those 7 or it's one that's way deep down inside that hasn't found its way to words yet. And you make that what we call your Oola 1. So you have that one goal that if you did that is going to move you closer to achievement of your dreams and help make everything else possible. So we take it broad, we narrow it down, we make it doable. Now, if you're like me, I love colorful pens and I love fancy journals. And there is something that is almost therapeutic when I'm writing things down on paper because it transfers new pathways in your brain. There's actually been studies to prove that. That said, some of us like to have a little dopamine hit and we like to do a little work on our cell phones. We have it covered there as well. There's an app that I will use that will help me track my daily goals. And then upon tracking that, you get little badges and progress reports and a personal statistic, if you will, to show how many days in a row I have kept on track, how many steps I have taken toward living my life of balance, growth, and purpose. And I will tell you, there are some days when I'm like, oh, I feel like I didn't nudge anything at all. I took those small steps forward, and man, seeing that reinforcement, it's like, oh, I can do this. I'm worth it. I've been designed for greatness and a purpose, and I want to live that life of purpose, growth, and balance. So there's a lot more to Oola, but those are the key concepts. It's a reminder that you are valued as a person. There are 7 areas in life where, as an entrepreneur, you want to make sure that you are seeking balance, growth, and purpose because overall, that will affect your total health as a person and help you to become the best that you can be in your business and your community, whether that's in your home or again globally. And then it's once you have those goals in place for the 7 Fs and you're taking those steps forward, it's putting a plan in place to hold yourself accountable to the achievement of those goals. We all know that unless we get up and make a decision, nothing happens. And so this framework helps it make it safe to make decisions, encouraging to make decisions, and possible to make those decisions. So together we can change the world with a word, Oola. So as my thanks for participating in the summit today and for taking some time out to invest in yourself, you're going to find links to 2 things. One is to that assessment I talked about to figure out where you're at in the 7 Fs of Oola. And the second is a free 7-day trial to the Oola app that lets you track things in an app or more of an electronic format, because I'm sure there are those of us in the audience who prefer more left brain or right brain activities. And so trying to make those available for you. That's my gift to you, simply as a way of saying thank you. I believe in this system so much that I'm so pleased to be able to share it. I think we're going to leave it at that because it's a lot to take in. So I simply want to say thank you so much. You've invested in yourself today, and that's a huge win. So kudos to your start in 2023 and all that this year holds for you. Together, let's be grateful, let's have faith, and let's live our best Oola life. Thank you.